Hello. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to actually now process this. So, the volume of a cylinder, let's add a comment, volume is equal to pi times radius squared times height. That's the formula. So, we're going to say V equals, now the question is, how do we access pi? We could put 3.14 here, and that would be okay. We could do 22 divided by 7, which gives you a pretty good approximation for pi. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to access the most accurate version of pi that we can get, and that is contained in the math module. So if I come to the top here and I import math, that gives me access to the math module. There are certain modules that you have by default. There are so many modules with the programming language that they only give you some. Others you have to import, because otherwise, if you have these thousands of functions that you never use, it makes the program really, really big and bloated. So now I can access this. I can say math.pi. Now you'll notice that I have an autocomplete happening here. You might not in Sublime. I included an add-on, which I'll link to a video about how to do that at the bottom of this. And then I'm going to say times R times R times H. Now I'm going to save this. And now I'm going to run this, and you'll see that I'm going to have a problem. So let's come down. Let's pull up our terminal. Let's clear this. Python 3 cylinder vol con.py 2 3, and I get an error. So the problem here is that what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to perform this process, but Python views these variables when I took them as inputs as strings. And this is an important piece in terms of theory. So when inputs are taken, it is assumed they are strings. And strings are simply words or sentences. So what we need to do is, if we're going to treat this like a number, we have to tell the computer what type of number it is. And to do that, we use a process called casting. So I'm going to do this line below, and what I have to do is I'm going to take the input, and now I'm going to tell the computer that it is actually a specific type. And in our case, it's a float. So this is a self-referencing assignment statement. So what it does is it has a function called float. It takes whatever R happens to be as a string and turns it into a float. So now this is casting R to a float and storing the result in R. Now we've done this as 2 steps here, but you can't actually do this in 1 step. We could float bracket bracket. So this is what happens is we first take the input, what is the height, the user will enter a number, press enter, and then that value will get converted to a float from this function. So now if we save this, and we go to our terminal, we give it a run, 2, 3, and the program ends with no problems. And if we wanted to, we could say print, and let's just print the volume now. File save 232, and there's the volume. Okay, so I think we're done for this video, so let's send this to GitHub. So we are going to, first we're going to add, and I'll use git space add dot, so that adds everything in the folder. This is useful if you have a couple files you're working with. I'm going to say git commit with a message, and that message is going to be, this is the process. And then we say git space push, and that pushes it up. So now I'll just show you. If I go to the GitHub site and I refresh this, and I come into here, here's the work I've done so far. And you can find it at this site, and you're welcome to take it and do whatever you want with this information. I hope that video helped. Have a wonderful day.